Okay, just wanted to make a quick video here to review our label designer for label connector for QuickBooks Online. A lot of people have been trialing the software and I think need some help getting to understand that you need to design a label in our system so you can search on invoices or on any of these other types of orders. I'll do a quick query here, and you can use items list, sales receipt estimates, and we're going to be continuing to add more modes. But before you can print any labels, you need to go into our designer and design a label. Okay, so and we'll go over there. We already have some videos showing how the download and print function works, so you can print the entire order with one click, or you can use web printing. But I want to do a quick intro video here for the label designer. Now, so before you can print, out of these modes, you got to create a label in our system. Okay. Now we're going to be revising this. We're right in process with this right now. Probably in a couple weeks, I would say by mid-December, we're going to have a drag and drop type of a designer to make it easier to design, but you can still have full capability right now. So what you do is you say you can either import a label from our library. And by the way, if you send me a request at AccuWare to sales@accuware-inc.com, we can create a template for you in the library. So you can import a template from the library this way, or you can let's just review making a new label at this point. So you have to select the mode that you're going to use in our system. Okay, so if you intend to use your invoices or sales receipts or estimates or item list as kind of the source for the data, you first specify that. And I'm just going to give this a name. We'll call it invoice demo 1. Okay, and I'm just going to pick a size here, mediocre size. You got to put in your label dimensions because we need to create the palette for you to design the label. Okay, press save, and it opens up a palette where you can design a label. You can expand this a little bit if you want to. And so basically, if you want to add text or barcodes, some of our modes also have the ability to add the logo, and we're going to be adding that to all modes in the next 2 weeks as well. So, but I'm just going to start simple here. Let's say you want to create a label. Now the concept here is you can have some data on this label that's not going to change, right? It might be the word part number, but not the part number itself, or your company name. Okay, that's called static data. But if you want to read QuickBooks data into your label dynamically and quickly, you're going to need to choose a data source. In this case, we'll just start with something simple like item name. Okay, and you just give this field a name. Okay, that's just a nickname, so when it's in our little table you can see it, and then maybe put some sort of test data in that's just example data that you can use for how large to make the font, because you need to decide how big you can make the field so that it doesn't go off the label. Now perhaps the trickiest part is you got to put in the coordinates. Now once we have this as drag and drop, you won't have to do that, but this coordinate is based off of the bottom left corner. So if I want to put this 1 inch up, 1 inch over from the left side and 1 inch up from the bottom, I'll say 1 and 1. So what that's going to do is that puts this item field into the position. Yeah, there we go. It puts it 1 inch up and 1 inch over from the bottom left corner. So this field has been created now that when this prints, this is going to substitute from the invoice. It's going to put the item information right here. Okay, so that's a text field for you. If you want to add a barcode, same kind of idea. Okay, we'll just call this, we'll give this barcode, a field name, and we'll make the source for the data. In this case, we'll make it the SKU from the item, because QuickBooks Online lets you put in an item name or number. It's kind of like your part number, and you can also put kind of like an alternate part number in, and that's what the SKU is. So let's just, and again, I'll put in, let's say you have a SKU that's 8 digits long, so we'll just put that in just for sizing purposes. Typical size for a barcode might be a 1/2 inch high, and in this case we'll make the barcode 2 inches wide. So let's put this above the item, and as you remember, this was 1 and 1, so we'll just put this at 1.5 from the bottom. okay, and then we'll put this at the same position on the, across the label at 1 inch. And then this is for the font underneath the barcode. So now we've got a label with a text field and a barcode field on it. And let's say you want to put something on here that's not going to change. It's just on the label all the time. It's not dynamic. It's not pulled from QuickBooks. We call that a static data source. Okay, so we'll choose static as the data source. And we'll just say okay, and then let's say you want to have your company name on the label. And what we want to do is maybe we'll put this at the same position on the X coordinate as the other field, so we'll have it at 1 inch, but let's say we put it at the top of the label. So this is a 4x3 label, so I'm going to put this at 3.5 inches up from the bottom. Okay, we'll make this a little bigger because it's our company name. We want to make it so people can see it. Okay, let's see, let me edit that and make sure I did that correctly. Oh, sorry, this is a 3-inch high label, so we'll put this at 2.5. Okay, there we go. So we've got our company name, which is static data, okay, because this data source was static. And again, that's like in the case where it's not going to change, it's not going to be dynamic from QuickBooks. We've got a barcode field and we've got a text field. You can also add the description field and word wrap that. You would just select, instead of the item as the data source, you would just select the description for that. So we're glad to go over and help you with any of this designing, but I just want to focus this video on using the designer. Now, our drag and drop designer upgrade will just allow you to, after you click this, you'll be able to just click onto the label where you want it to go and move it around, etc. But really, the data sources and just using font sizes and barcode heights and widths are really, the key. And with our existing designer, just to review, it's referenced from this lower left corner. So if you use X of 1 inch, that's going to move it over 1 inch from the left side. And if you use Y of 1 inch, it's going to move it up 1 inch from the bottom. So I moved the barcode, and you can see we show that coordinate table here. So you see the barcode is up 1.5 from the bottom. So it's a little higher up from the bottom than this is. So you can arrange anything any way you want. You can make the font sizes any way you want. You can use a variety of data sources from QuickBooks. If you don't see a data source that you need, we are adding them. You can request that we do that. Like, for example, some people need custom fields from QuickBooks, and we're adding that, and we support that in some of our other modes. So kind of stay tuned for the update on our designer. But if you have any questions, I'll put my contact information in the description section below the video. Thanks.